Historically speaking, Team USA dominates the world in the short sprinting events. That is not an opinion, it's basically a fact. Just consider that at the Paris Games, 2 out of every 3 medals in both the 100 and the 200. And remember, I'm talking about the men's and the women's sides. They all went to Team USA. So don't get it twisted. We know that we're fast. Even in the year 2022, and I'm going to come back to that year in a moment, the men of Team USA swept the 100 and the 200 at the World Championship meet. And they did it with 6 different men. I am not making this up. But when it comes to the 4x1, well, the results have been mixed at best. And yes, I'm not just talking about the men, the women are included in that, but I'm really talking about the men right now. Because in that 2022 year, Team USA did not win the relay. Remember, you swept both short sprinting events, and you still got second to Canada, who obviously didn't win a medal in either of those finals. So after what happened at the Paris Games, once again, specifically on the men's side, I don't have to tell you what happened. By now you should know that it didn't go so well. I wanted to see what was going to happen this year for Team USA, because we've been watching the men of Team USA screw up the relay, again, not to pick on the men, but they're the ones who really messed up for a very long time. It's been about 2 decades now since Team USA has won an Olympic medal of any color. The worlds have been up and down, but for the most part, like half of the relays we've run from the year 2004 up until now, we don't even get to stick around. It's not that we run slow and we lose. We don't even finish the race. That is how bad it is. The real reason why the Americans struggle isn't because of their talent. I've already addressed that part. The issue is how we assemble our relays. So when we were planning our team for the World Relays this year, I wanted to see what was going to happen. And now that the rosters have been released, I definitely have some thoughts. Because I want to see Team USA thrive in the relay. I actually care about the sport of track and field, but guess what? I happen to be American. And with that in mind, I'm continuing to see all the things that likely could jack this thing up in the future. Allow me to explain. I am not making any comments that are negative, or at least I don't mean to, about any individual athletes who are on the team. Shout out to them. And I'm proud of all of them for agreeing to represent at the World Relays. And I get it. Some people believe that the World Relay doesn't mean anything. You might believe that. That's fine, if that's how you feel. But allow me to give you a quick little history lesson from 2024. The men of Team USA went to the World Relays and won it. They won a gold medal or first place or whatever they call it for the World Relays. They won the event. And the team that they put down, like the 4 guys that were assembled, that same group, if they'd just given the time they gave in that final, in the Olympic final, Team USA would have won the gold. But between that moment and the Olympic final, a whole bunch changed on the relay. And I get it, injuries happen. But that's not why the Olympic relay fell apart. It fell apart because the men who were handing off the stick in that relay competitively had never run a race together. Not even one in that particular order. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCARecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. I'm not going to go down a path about complaining about how people do the relay and how practices are. Relay practice is irrelevant. At least nowhere near as relevant as actually competing together. Because the way people practice is not exactly the same way they compete. And you have to figure that stuff out in order to actually compete well in the races. That's why Team USA, with Noah Lyles on the anchor, likely won at the World Relays last year. It wasn't just because of who was on the team, because they had run the relay with that group prior. They ran at Olympic development meets, and I was there for one of them. It did not go so well. They had to figure it out in competitions, even if those were inconsequential competitions first, before they could go out and compete together. So now that we're going over to the World Relays, Remember, I'm not taking a dig at any of the names, but let's just be real about who's on this list. If you look at the entire roster, and again, I'm focusing particularly on the 4x1, this is for the men and the women. There's only 2 athletes on either side who have ever represented Team USA individually in an outdoor event. For the men, it's Kenny Bednarek and Arian Knighton. That's it. And we've never seen Arian Knighton represent for Team USA in a 4x1. Not in a prelim, not in a final. This moment will be the first. On the women's side, we're sending Kayla White and TT Terry. Shout out to them. But just being real, everybody knows that when it comes to the World Championship final this year, assuming that Team USA is in it, we are going to be running some people who are not those names. The majority of the short sprinters who are on the roster for the World Relays are probably not going to represent Team USA individually when we get to the Worlds. Again, we're just being honest. And I get it. From what I can understand about the system in its current form, Team USA wants athletes to go and run competitive relays. It's why we have 4x1s that now run as USA squads at Olympic development meets like what they did at Tom Jones or even the Florida relays itself. That's fine. But running relays with random assortments of athletes is not the issue. The issue is whether or not that group runs together in competitive environments. If we were to go to the World Relays with these people, send them down there and they run fast enough to come away with qualifying spots, medals, or whatever they're supposed to do, that's great, and I'm cool with it. I just know we're going to swap those same people out when we get to the World Championships, which is going to put us right back where we started. To go back to the Paris final, again, specifically for the men, because I'm going to talk a little bit about the women, but I'm just going to focus on the men right now. The moment I saw the order, while watching the final, I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I said, this is going to be bad. I'm not just nervous, I am deeply concerned. That's what I said to him. And he said, why? Like, why are you so concerned? I'm like, these guys have never passed to each other in a competitive environment. And now this is what we're putting out for an Olympic final. This is not going to go well. It is near impossible to run a proper 4x1 because as fast as we might be on the clock, it only takes a second or less than that for the 4x1 to go left. And once it does, it's near impossible to get it back. Obviously, that's what happened on the men's side. And again, I'm not beating up on the individual athletes. It's just the nature of the system. Because with all the politics and everything that happens behind closed doors, things I won't even get into right now, ultimately, who runs on the relays and in what order is a very, moment-to-moment decision. Clearly, at least that's what it looks like to everybody who's on the outside, people like me. For the women of Team USA, who have had success historically over the last decade, the interesting thing about them is they seem to be doing it despite their lack of, cohesion in terms of who's on that relay. We put multiple different teams out between 2022, 2023, 2024, and I guess now what we're going with in 2025. But it doesn't really matter that much. The women seem to figure it out. This year, I don't know exactly if it's just going to work out itself again. Maybe it will just work out. But in 2024, as far as I'm concerned, we out-talented the rest of the world. Because in the Olympic final, we had, this is just a recap, because a lot of people must have forgot, we had the Olympic bronze medalist in the 100. Then she handed it off to the Olympic 5th place finisher in the 100, who handed it off to the Olympic gold medalist in the 200, who handed it off to the Olympic silver medalist in the 100. And that group did not get the stick in front when it got to the anchor leg. Sha'Carri Richardson was not in the front of the race for the majority of her leg. That's why it was so intense when she broke through to win the race. That is never supposed to happen when you have all of the fastest women. Not one woman in any of the other lanes on any of those legs was better than who we put out there. I get it. Stuff happens. And yes, they got the gold medal when it was all done. But that strategy sure enough ain't gonna work for the World Relays, not with the roster that they have. Again, no shade, we're just being honest. I want to see Team USA thrive, and you let me know in the comments, because I know a lot of you want to see us be successful as well. I'm just not seeing any evidence, right now anyway, that the thing that we have in place, like the system in place, whatever changes, whatever things have gone down, it's looking a whole lot like the same movie over again. And no, I don't want to see a sequel to this one. And yes, this is one of those moments where I really want to be wrong about this, but I doubt it. The sport of track and field is not just about running fast. It is about doing it over and over and over again, because whenever you step to the line, your reputation is on the line as well. With the Wake Up, Run Fast, and Repeat shirt, you can make it clear that running faster than the competition is a habit. Get yours at sarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.